Alrighty guys, we're back for Dimir Reanimator, and this is a Final Fantasy Standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. But first things first, this one is rotation proof for the upcoming rotation. Nice. So, we saw an opponent play a really cool combo between Abyssal Harvester and Vile Entomber, so of course I had to try something similar. Shout out to that opponent, really cool stuff. This is a 3 mana, 3/2 Demon Warlock. You can tap it. Exile target creature card from a graveyard that was put there this turn. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a nightmare in addition to its other types. Then exile all other nightmare tokens you control. Okay, so it pairs beautifully when you're curving out properly. You have Harvester on 3, Vile Entomber on turn 4, 4 mana, 2/2 Death Touch. When this creature enters, search your library for a card. Put that card into your graveyard, then shuffle. Okay, so grab any of your top end, slam it into the grave, tap the Harvester, grab it back from the grave as a token. That's a nightmare. Neat stuff, right? So we have a whole bunch of top end that, of course, we're going to try our dandiest to plug into the grave and reanimate. How about Bahamut? Yeah, as a one of. We have one of Valgavoth as well. We have a couple Ardyn, the Usurper. 8 mana 4/4 demons you control have Menace, Lifelink, and Haste. So remember, Harvester is a demon, and also Valgavoth is a demon in and of itself too. So at the beginning of combat on your turn, exile up to 1 target creature card from a graveyard. If you exiled a card this way, create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 5/5 black demon. So yeah, it totally generates demons too. Cool. We have a couple Primal Odins acting as top-end spot removal, similar to the Bahamut, but a little easier to cast as well. So we have a couple of Marang River Regents as well. We got to do some rearranging because the Omen side you will actually activate quite often to replenish your hand and also help you stock up your grave with the other top-end creatures. Again, 6 mana, not going to be unheard of to just cast this out though. More top end, we got a couple Harvester of Miseries, similar concept to the Marang River Regent. We want to do some rearranging because you're going to activate that bottom ability very often as some early spot removal, but it's not the only spot removal plugged in. Thank goodness, right? We have a couple Bitter Triumphs also helping us get that top end into the grave. We have some tempo removal with Into the Flood Maw, making the cut as a 4 of. I suppose this could be your bounce spell of choice. If you like bounce off more, that would totally work fine. I do like how Into the Flood Maw can also help us tempo out something like a Caretaker's Talent or something, right? So yeah, that'll be nice. And maybe after we bounce it back, we'll have a chance at a counter spell. We have 4 Don't Make a Sound in here. This is a 2 mana instant speed target counter target spell unless its controller pays 2. If they do pay the 2, Surveil 2. So that's not terrible, right? Not the only counterspell that has Surveil on it, though. How about this new one? Swallowed by Leviathan as a 2 of in here. 3 mana instant speed, choose target spell, Surveil 2. Then counter the chosen spell unless its controller pays 1 for each card in your graveyard. That is actually really neat. At that point, like, why not just play a 3 mana counterspell that just straight up counters? Well, they don't say Surveil 2 on it, so I don't know. I just feel like Surveil 2 is pretty darn good in the right build, and I feel like this is the right build. So, you have more card draw packed in. We have Winternight Stories, making the cut as a 1 of. Not going to take the time to go over it right now. I do think that the Harmonize ability will also come in handy quite often. Now, Harvester isn't the only way to reanimate in here, of course. We have all 4 Zombifies, and we even have a Live or Die. 5 mana instant speed, you get to choose one of these. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, or just destroy target creature. What I really like about this is that it is instant speed, so you can do some neat things on the opponent's turn, like wait till the very end of their turn to reanimate a Valgavoth, or wait till they swing, right? When you don't have any blockers available. All of a sudden, Valgavoth is a pretty good blocker. One more card, guys. We have 1 Duress. Nice. No honorable mentions today. What at the very least should have made the cut as an honorable mention? Let me know in the comments. Oh, the mana base. We do have a Restless Reef, all 4 Verge, all 4 Sewers, all 4 Fabled Passage. We should have a pretty good mana base here. It shouldn't hold us up too often. Okay, I do my dandiest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead and take this into some ranked, see how we do. All right, we'll see if we can get right into that first game. In the meantime, what am I expecting from the build? As far as reanimation goes, it's probably a janky version, right? Probably. Now, in my test games, Zombify was hiding from me, which is definitely a problem. You definitely need to see ways to reanimate your creatures. Here we go. Zombify in hand. Opponent goes first. This is actually a problem when the opponent's going first. None of our early removal or tempo. I'm going to try it. Like I said, in the test game, Zombify hid from me, so it's nice just having it in the opener here. Plus, we might be able to smooth things out with this Surveil. No, I don't think we need a Fabled Passage. That's a lot of mana. I believe the deck list has 25 total mana, which I don't think is too much for this style. We'll see, though. What do they got here? A couple Bitter Triumphs. Bring back an Archaeologist. Oh, probably up against some reanimation, too. Well, it's going to be Swallowed by Leviathan right on time, probably, then. Alright, we can get Restless Reef down, since we have nothing else for the turn. And focus on our third mana. Oh, they miss. They miss some mana. Here, opponent, you can borrow some of mine. I have more than enough. Do we actually want to keep this counterspell open when they don't have anything really in the grave and they'll only have their third mana? Probably not. I think we go right into Winternight Stories. It'd be a very different story. Oh no, we have too many cards in hand now too. Probably the island then, right? No, we have another swamp over here, I see. That's fine. Anyways, it'd be a different story if they hit their third mana and on their turn they discarded something really important that they'd love to reanimate, right? Then we would have kept the Zombify. There they go. They do find their third. That's good news. They go for Seize the Spoils. That's pretty good. That's really good. They get a Knights of Round into the grave. So with the extra treasure too, they probably have the mana they need to bring back Knights of Round. Alright, we'll definitely do some deck thinning with Fabled Passage. I suppose we grab a swamp. We could keep Swallowed by Leviathan open to counter whatever they plan on doing with this Knights of Round, right? Could be Yuna next turn. I guess we don't know what we're up against. 5-color Reanimator is possible. Zombify on the Valgavoth is not terrible. They might really struggle with it. It's not like these have flying either. We might as well do this right on time, right? We might as well. And now, it's not going to be impossible for them to get around the ward cost. They do find some more mana here. So they could keep, like... They could play something small, like this Archaeologist, and still have a Bitter Triumph on the Valgavoth. They'd much rather exile Valgavoth, though. So it depends. Depends what's in their hand, for sure. Especially since we know 2 of their Bitter Triumphs are out, too. Either way, like I said, something cheap, and then some more cheap removal. They go for their own Zombify. Yeah, I mean, that puts Zombify under our Valgavoth, too, which is pretty cool. Let's see. Yeah, we had the option. Did we want to do the Zombify first, or did we want to keep Swallowed by Leviathan open? I think we made a good choice. But the Knights of Round could eventually overrun us. With Harvester of Misery, how does this work again, guys? I like never actually have Valgavoth on my side. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to its mana value rather than pay its mana cost. So we'd pay 4. So we could do like Harvester, like this, right? And then Zombify, pay the 4, bring back Harvester. Yeah, That's pretty good. Oh, I probably should have swung first, though. Oh, that's fine. That's totally fine. Everything's fine, guys. We might as well do Winternight Stories while we have it, too. Another Zombify. Cool. Yeah, I will... I'll get rid of the Harvester. I don't think we need it this game. We're far enough in, right? Oh. That's pretty good. That's pretty decent, right? You know what? Duress, too. Okay. Okay, fine. That was a cool first game, right? It's pretty neat. I'll say this right now. Boy, it's nice actually seeing the Zombify. Holy cow. Alright, let's keep the ball rolling. We still got to see like the whole Harvester thing do the thing too. And the big problem with Harvester, of course, right, is actually having it survive on the board state. It comes down turn 3, awesome. Does it survive turn 3? Probably not. So yeah, it really depends. Here's one where maybe we can get it to survive on turn 3. This is a good hand. Yeah, I like this. Yeah, Harvester of Misery's minus ability getting around the indestructible. That was really good, wasn't it? We're going to start with the Restless Reef. There's a chance that we see Swamp off the top, and then we can keep Undercity Sewers for turn 4. If the Harvester survives, maybe the Surveil can be a good creature that we want to bring back. Actually find another Harvester, and now we definitely still want to set up for next turn Harvester regardless. Okay, yeah, we should keep that. Boy, analysis paralysis on the Verge there, but only having 3 mana for the rest of the game is probably a no-go. Verge guarantees the 4th, which means when we find the Zombify or something, that'll be pretty good. Yeah, Harvester doesn't pick up the Dark Knight over there. Depending on what else they have in their deck list, we could consider keeping Swallowed by Leviathan open next turn, but I'm pretty sure we're just going to go Harvester number 1. Probably eats removal. Maybe Harvester number 2 can survive then. Okay, they also take the 2. Dimir colors. They keep it open. There's a chance that the Harvester doesn't even land with Dimir colors, but we'll try it. I'd say that's a pretty good counterspell for them. It's going to be a Phantom Interference. Very nice. Alright, maybe Harvester number 2 can actually come down. Yeah, the Pain land, I'm assuming they're a deck list that doesn't mind taking the pain, right? They want to flip this as soon as possible too, but by the time they flip it... Oh, they're going to go for Kaito, actually. So we should probably kill the Kaito with the Bitter Triumph. We can't wait for their turn to do it either. Keeping the Swallowed by Leviathan open's pretty good. Too bad we can't swing with Restless Reef this turn. Yeah, keeping the 3 open could be really good for their turn 4. But instead, you know what? I'm going to keep the 5th mana too. No, I'm not. I'm not going to pay the 3. That could be a really bad decision if this is just Dimir aggro, right? Yeah, taking care of the Kaito. It's a 2-for-1 because we got rid of a land, but I'm not too worried about it. And we get to keep the Harvester of Misery ability open, but the Dark Knight still gets around it regardless. Okay. Find Into the Flood Maw, which could be pretty good. I think I'm just going to keep Swallowed by Leviathan open because the Surveil is going to be pretty important. And see, because I didn't take the 3, we don't have the Restless Reef or something. even powering up Restless Reef, if we mill ourselves, there's a chance that, I mean, we'd prefer having Harvester on the board. No guarantees of that. Go Enduring Courage. That's got to be literally the best counter spell, right? Yeah, Ardyn to the grave. Actually, Fabled Passage I'll keep on top. I'm just going to cast the Harvester, maybe get some more removal out of their hand. They go for the swing, we both go down to 13. I guess that means... Oh no. Yeah, I want to save the Into the Flood Maw a little while longer. Unfortunately, with the 5th, maybe I don't go Harvest. Hold on. We have 2 Harvesters in hand. I just realized that. Funny enough, right? Harvester of Misery, Abyssal Harvester. Anyways, maybe... I'm sorry, opponent. I'm thinking, buddy. I have extreme analysis paralysis this game. If Harvester can actually survive, we have a potential swing next turn with Restless Reef. Mill 4, maybe grab something great on the Harvester. But... Okay, fine. Okay, very well. Let's try it. We have Into the Flood Maw and Harvester of Misery open. I have a bad feeling that Abyssal Harvester does not survive because they haven't played any spot removal yet. It is going to be a cut down, in fact. Life total is less than or equal to half your starting life total. So if they want to bring us both down to 11, then I guess we will let them. I'm really looking for a better target for this Into the Flood Maw, for real. Okay. It's going to be another Harvester. All right, maybe Harvester number 3 will survive. Harvester, you got this, buddy. You got this. Okay. You got this, little buddy. Yes? Harvester, get down! Run! I don't know what's in the opponent's hand, man. I don't know. It's gonna be Flood Pit's Drowner. Oh. Well, the stun counter is pretty rough, actually. I'm actually, I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna hold off completely here. Into the Flood Maw on the Cecile before they can flip it. They play Cecile again. Harvester can just come down as a 5-drop. Maybe they tap some mana to banish with Drowner, which isn't terrible for us, but Harvester doesn't hit anything then. Harvester of Misery. I gotta stop doing that. Yeah, we have multiple Harvesters in the deck list. Alright. Right. We, unfortunately, Into the Flood Maw, the Cecile, we never found a better target for it. A better tempo. We go down to 9 here. And now they can still activate the Drowner ability if they want to banish the Harvester. Abyssal Harvester. And still, Cecile getting around the -2 on the Harvester of Misery. We do find more mana. Okay. I mean, I guess we just play this as a creature. It could be another Flood Pit's Drowner, and we're in significant danger of getting completely picked apart by Dimir Tempo. I called it Dimir Aggro. It's a similar concept, and I've been actually calling this deck list both. But probably Tempo, right? Is what we want to actually call it. Very mastermind. Pretty scary. Yeah, the Death Touch on Cecile's really bad news, because Harvester of Misery would otherwise be a pretty good blocker. And we still probably should take the block before they flip this. They got the go for the throat, though. Uh-oh, we're in danger, bro. We need to find one of our Zombifies. 4 of them in the deck list, and a live or die in the deck list as well. Cecile, Redeemed Paladin. We find an Into the Flood Maw, which does bide us our time. Okay. We'll see. No, it doesn't actually. Soulstone Sanctuary cleans this up. No, we can block with Restless Reef first and then tap Into the Flood Maw. Okay, Restless Reef might keep us alive depending on what's left in their hand, which was a little bit of everything so far. Very mastermind. Holy cow. So they got 4 in the air. Power up the Sanctuary next turn. This is target creature. It doesn't say like non-land creature. Right. So everything's fine, right guys? Right? Other attacking creatures gain indestructible until end of turn. Crap, I probably shouldn't have let that happen, huh? I really shouldn't have let that happen. Oh dear. Well, we bounce the Sanctuary then and block the Cecile. They won't be able to play it again. They'll be able to play the land, but the Masterminds get indestructible. We actually trade into the Cecile then, down to 1. Otherwise, we would have done that where Cecile was bounced. Ah, it's just mana anyways. But every turn matters. We could have easily seen a Zombify, and then we could have brought back Ardyn, and then Ardyn could have brought back Harvester of Misery. Harvester of Misery would have popped the Masterminds. Seriously. Seriously, could have been anyone's game. That being said, all of that would have had to happen right then and there. Not only because they had lethal on the board, also good game opponent. I think I forgot to drop it there. Anyways, not only because they had lethal on the board, but also because as soon as they untapped, if we did find a Zombify, there's no guarantee that they wouldn't have just had another counter spell for the Zombify. So it would have been essential to find when they were actually tapped out there, especially up against Tempo, which could be rocking some Spell Pierces as well. For really, really cheap ways to deal with the Zombify on time. Okay, opponent goes first. Zombify in hand. I might as well keep it, dude. Yeah. We have a lot to draw into. An early Surveil here to help us smooth the hand a little bit. Don't need the island, that's for sure. The Averbat probably picks up the Swallowed by Leviathan. We're too far from Zombify, and we have nothing in hand to put into the grave, and nothing in the grave right now either, so... against Dimir colors too. The... Excuse me. Guys, oh my goodness. Excuse me. Anyways, the Harvester... I'm just over here burping away. I apologize, guys. I'm sure my filters cut out the burps, but anyways, what was I saying? They did take the Zombify. The Abyssal Harvester is not a threat to Dimir colors, just way too much spot removal packed in. As soon as we play Harvester, it's either going to be countered or popped. So I thought it was going to be Swallowed by Leviathan, which is now what we keep over the Harvester. Aw, man, we got a really cool combo in hand, but we just can't play it yet. Yeah, we can't risk it. We gotta wait till the perfect moment. Gonna keep Swallowed by Leviathan open, especially with all this extra mana too. We could even wait till turn 6 if we're... That's probably a good counter spell, right? Boy, that's a tough decision, because if they play Cat next turn... Oh, Ardyn. Into the Flood Maw is probably pretty good. It's a good way to bounce the bat back and still have Zombify on the same turn, especially when we have 5 total mana. That could be our turn 5. Bring back the Ardyn that way, right? They do find their 4th mana, but no kitty cat. It's good news. All right, we can try Harvester. Let them do what they want to the poor Abyssal Harvester here. At the end of their turn, attempt the Into the Flood Maw on the Deep Cavern Bat. Bring back the Zombify. Harvester on board, I assume. Not for long. At the end of our turn, let's see what they end up doing. It's gonna be Flood Pit's Drowner. Yeah, that was a clean way for the last opponent to pick this up too. Wait a minute, it's not... Wait, it's not the same opponent, right? I have no idea. I apologize, opponents. I never read the names. Very Mastermind as well. Oh, buddy, oh, buddy. Okay, we stick to the plan. It's really nice that they're tapped out here, but we can't tempo the bat to get Zombify when they would just play the bat, pick up the Zombify again, right? So we still have to wait until the very end, taking extra damage and all. With Flood Pit's Drowner, are they going to activate it? They keep open mana, so this could be a counterspell, which would of course be really good for them. If we can pull off the Zombify, they could just let this happen and then use the counterspell on the Zombify next turn too. With 3 cards available, it's going to be that Phantom Interference. Into the Flood Maw. What a good draw. Wow. I mean, all 4 for a reason. Let's see if we can pull this off. We do pull it off. Let's do it. Ardyn, come on down, buddy boy. All right. Yes. Get that swing. The last 2 cards in their hand must not be instant speed. Deep Cavern Bat takes the Vile Entomber, which is actually really good for them, since we have Abyssal Harvester on the board surviving by some miracle, right? Deep Cavern Bat taking our biggest threats for sure. Second bat for funsies. Ardyn not picking anything up next turn, unless we can get something in the grave right now. We do have the whole each player draws a card ability on the Mastermind, which I guess could be okay. Oh, good game opponent. Okay, I'll take it, dude. I'll take it. Oh, man. Right, with the extra life gain from the Mastermind, and if they decided to chump or anything, then there's more stuff to pick up with the Ardyn. Honestly, though, they didn't know it was in our hand. We were flooding a little bit. I gotta double check something real quick, guys. I do want to make sure that it's just 25 in here. It kind of feels like more. But yeah, I want to just double check here in the middle of the video. And while I have you here in the middle of the video... Okay, 25. Good. Okay, excellent. Yeah, while I have you here, make sure you do all the YouTube side of things. Like, if you actually like the video, make sure you drop it a like. And if you enjoy the channel, then consider subscribing because it really does help out the channel. And also, in the description, we have the Discord link, as well as the Patreon link, too, if you're interested in joining either of those up or supporting the channel that way. Yeah, either way, guys. Thank you, thank you. Opponent goes first, Zombify in hand, live or die in hand. Early tempo, no ways to get the Valgavoth into the grave, but who the heck cares? Let's keep it. We'll give it a shot, see what happens. Start with the Surveil. Smooth our hand. Get rid of one of our 38 to land in the deck list. Find more mana. Be confused about it. Play Restless Reef without any worries. Or maybe deck thinning. Nah. We're fine. We're totally fine. And Creature of the Schism is a worthwhile tempo play, right? I hope I'm not being too hasty with that. More mana is really, really bad, guys. Okay. Well, maybe I should have thinned the deck list with Fabled Passage, but it kind of feels like I shouldn't. I mean, I chose not to again this turn, too. Get the Preacher of the Schism back down, play their 4th. More mana. I suppose now is the time to deck thin. At this point, we might as well wait to just cast out the Valgavoth, and that'll be fine, right? Okay, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the top 13. I don't know if we want to count that as a flood yet. It's definitely too much mana, but I've seen worse. I've seen much worse, right? Yeah, they get both Preacher the Schism abilities since we're both at 20 here. They get the 2 through. Easy peasy. Let's see what they find here. 5 mana opens, no joke. Preacher the Schism number 2 is terrific for the opponent. All right, Abyssal Harvester is pretty good. Yeah, that's something. It's something at least. Let's see if they got some spot removal. No instant speed spot removal from the opponent. We might be able to get a good mill from the Restless Reef and activate Harvester ability. Duress hits the Zombify. They can let us keep the live or die. No, they're going to take the live or die because of the instant speed, and I guess it's because we have enough mana for it. Gix's command sacrifices the Harvester. They go ahead and boost the Demon Wall. Actually, they get a swing with the Demon Wall too because it has counters. Oh, we're in danger. Oh, another Harvester. We're gonna be forced to block this Demon Wall though. Holy cow. Right. So, I mean, there's really not a lot of options here. We hope Harvester survives by some miracle. So this game, we went way too slow. So we could have considered the mulligan because we knew we had a relatively slow start. Good game, opponent. Good game. Yeah, sometimes like this is an important showcase because sometimes when you are trying to do something like Reanimator, it's easy to forget that Reanimator is technically a combo deck list. And so sometimes you just really just need the combo to happen no matter what. And as you guys know from combo deck lists, it just doesn't line up sometimes. So yeah, even though we had Valgavoth and everything, we still needed a way to get it into the grave. Not too many in here. Bitter Triumph is one way to discard it. Marang River Regent's another way to discard it. The Winternight Stories is another way to discard it. Okay, I guess that's a little bit more than I was thinking, but... Huh. You know, we go first, which means we could be up against, like, mid-range. And I'd say this is probably really bad against mid-range, but I'm going to keep it. We're going to give it a shot. Yeah, at that point, we might as well start with the island. Give them a little bit less knowledge about our deck list for a turn. Okay, don't make a sound open. See, like right now, I guess technically would be better if they went first, because hitting their 3-drop is much better with Don't Make a Sound. But that's what we're still going to try to do next turn with a Caretaker's Talent, hopefully. Yep, I'm going to save all the Into the Flood Maws. Ardyn, that's going to be pretty good. We can find ways to get them into the grave. I'm going to activate this now so I'm not holding up the opponent's turn. I say as I'm going to be holding up the opponent's turn with a counter spell. I'm not. That's how used to not playing counter spells I am. Okay, carrot cake here. Right, yeah. So we'll let them have it. I still think there's a better counter in Don't Make a Sound's future. I still think there's better bounces in the Into the Flood Maw's future too. So I'm just going to be incredibly patient here. Okay. We do find another Ardyn, which is not great. Pass it right back. 4th mana and... Fountain Port. Alright, playing around the counterspell for sure, right? We might as well bounce a bunny rabbit. At some point, we're going to have to play something before we start. Well, we probably could have taken the 2. All right, 4th mana. That's good news. We have all of our instant speed things open now. Counterspell on like Elspeth would be really good. That'd be really solid. Okay, but they're playing around the counterspells. They activate Carrot Cake. Maybe the other Carrot Cake too. I'm going to save the Into the Flood Maws now. Take the 2 down to 16. Getting rid of 1 bunny rabbit that was poking our face this entire time. It makes sense to me. Because as the game goes on, that 1 bunny rabbit could do 5 damage total. Or more, right? Harvester. All right, now we're talking. Now we're talking, guys. Of course, the 5th mana to actually just cast out the Harvester is a little better than activating its ability. But we're still going to keep it open. Carrot Cake at the end of turn. No, nothing. They go Carrot Cake on their turn instead. Do they not have mana for that? Last turn? Or did they accidentally click through it? That's possible. I mean, I believe in this don't make a sound, guys. At some point, it's going to hit. At some point. I'll take the 3 down to 13. Come on. Come on. Oh, no. Okay. Whatever amount of patience I have, the opponent is one-upping my patience, right? Because they are also just holding everything back. With the 5th mana on the board, I'm going to wait to just full cast the Harvester of Misery. Should be terrific against this. They find more mana. I mean, they have enough mana to play around the counter spells now, so let's get some surveilling done. Keep the Zombifies on top for sure. They pay the 2. Harvester, Marang River Regent, terrific. Absolutely terrific. However, Harvester is definitely going to bite a Get Lost, so... Or get bitten by a Get Lost, I should say. That's a tough decision, though, man. It is. I'm going to send the Harvester. We got to dig closer to the actual Zombifies and whatnot. How do you guys feel about that? Okay, whatever they target with the Caretaker's talent, we hit with the Into the Flood Maw. See the target here first. Okie dokies. They swing for 3. Down to 10. Marang River Regent's a great draw, but we know what we start with here. And that is Harvester of Misery. Now, cleaning up their tokens isn't that significant. It stops some damage, but they get some card draw on Fountain Port regardless of their hand. They're also at 6 mana, too. 1 away from, like, a Mist Wars. Lay Down Arms pops the Harvester of Misery pretty effectively, I'd say. There's the Elspeth Stormslayer. And now we're in a lot of trouble, dude. Oh, no. Oh, no. Opponent, very well played so far. Very patient plays. They knew we were keeping a counterspell open, and they played it very, very well, didn't they? Honestly, I wouldn't have had that amount of patience. I would have slammed right against that counterspell. But since they're a mid-range deck list, they knew that they could easily get into this late game successfully too, so... Alright, so we can start the Undercity Sewers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana on the board. Yeah, if we had 7 or something, I'd consider just casting the Ardyn. But I'm going to send that. While the opponent's tapped out, we could still do the Marang River Regent on their turn since they don't have any blue cards. But I guess... I'm sorry, opponent. I'm thinking, buddy. Tough decisions here, man. Tough decisions because... No. Maybe it's not that tough. Maybe we tempo out the Elspeth, make them pay the 5 for it again. They get a fishy, though. They get card draw from that. We actually start with the draw, see if it changes what we do here. And we are going to discard the Bahamut as we're farthest from that. We'd love to get the Ardyn into the grave as well, right? But yeah, Into the Flood Maw giving them a fish is not terrific. So let's just see what the opponent does on their turn. Either way, with the Elspeth on the board, we're just in some serious, serious danger. Swallowed by Leviathan's actually really good, but we don't have it open, so. Yeah, furthest from the Bahamut, but that doesn't mean that we can't top deck a Zombify. Caretaker's Talent. So, best thing on the stack is gifting them a fish to bounce the other talent, right? Because they can't respond with the Elspeth ability, but they could respond with Fountain Port if they want card draw. But they might as well wait because the other talent's coming down anyways. They could actually play both talents from hand. Double fishies. They do get the card draw before it lands. I've played Magic once before. I'm sorry about that, guys. I don't 110%. Something with layers, probably. I've read up on layers quite a few times. None of it has stuck. Back to the study books, I suppose. So they go ahead, they activate the Caretaker's Talent that they just played. They get a huge board state here, and they play Caretaker's Talent after, which is good news because that could have been much worse, right? All right, see the Surveil, Vile Entomber we might as well send because it's not like we have Harvester on the board or anything, right? Or the other Harvester, because there's half of our deck list is actually Harvesters, right? So you get Harvester of Misery down. An untapped source off the top could mean Ardyn. Again, we clean up the board, that's great, might give us an extra turn, but it doesn't matter too much as their board state is about to be flooded again anyways. So the goal for the last turn, by the way, was to have a good tempo play with the talent to where they didn't get the extra card draw off the talent and then they'd have to play the other one anyways. It didn't end up working out and probably wouldn't have because they probably still probably would have just played talent because they had so much mana and they still would have just plussed on the Elspeth, right? So yeah, it really depends on our draw because if we can actually see a Zombify, we can pop that Elspeth Stormslayer and maybe we could be in this. We find a Marang River Regent. They're going to go for lethal next turn in the air with the Caretaker's Talent bottom ability and 0 on the Elspeth. I'm pretty sure they have it. Unless we find an untapped source and a Zombify to bring back the Harvester of Misery, which is asking for a lot, I would say. It's a Swallowed by Leviathans, and we do find the untapped source in the form of Fabled Passage is fine. Can we just play with 8 Zombify, guys? Can we get 8 Zombify? All right, so there's our 4th. We have counterspells open, but we are dead. So if we found the Zombify, we could have brought back the Harvester of Misery, -2'd all their fishies. They still had a terrific way to restock the board, but yeah, this could have gone either way, and I could have played it much better too, so we can't blame the deck list completely here. Yeah, reanimating the Harvester of Misery, just like an incredible card in the right scenario, right? For real. Yeah, keeping us in 1 extra turn. We had 8, so we'd be ready for the Ardyn. Ardyn would reanimate the Bahamut. Just crazy, crazy lines of play. Now they're completely playing this out because they don't know what's in our hand. But I will say this. An Aetherize would be really good here. We don't have Aetherize in the build, obviously, but so we can go Swallowed by Leviathan. I apologize, opponent. There's the Zombify. There it is, guys. All right, we keep it on top. Let's go. Hey, Fancy Pants GG. Again, really well played early game from the opponent. I guess we don't know what was in their hand that whole time, but we kind of knew. You know, we kind of knew what was going on there. Yeah. I don't know. It kind of feels decent, doesn't it? In a weird way. In a janky way. There's got to be better ways to put Reanimator together. For sure. I think relying on the combo with Harvester and everything is actually pretty tough. But still, it's really neat to me. But it might not be like something that you want to base the whole build around. Like, for example, I think dropping a couple Harvester and going up a couple more reliable Reanimator pieces would be equally as good. Or, for that matter, dropping 2 Abyssal Harvesters. Oh, by the way, here's the deck list again, guys. Dropping a couple Harvesters, going up a Live or Die, and maybe like another Bitter Triumph would be pretty good. What do you guys think? Now, I don't know if we'd want to drop like 2 Harvesters, go up 2 Live or Dies. At that point, like 5 mana is not bad to get to, but also in those matches we showcased why we needed more ways to actually discard too, because when we have our top end, you really need like Marang, River Regent, Winternight Stories, Bitter Triumph, the only ways to actually discard in here. Everything else is surveilling the top end into the grave, or just grabbing it with the Entomber and putting it into the grave that way too. So you have potential surveil on Don't Make a Sound, which I find early counterspells to be really, really good right now. But I don't know much about blue. I don't play much blue. I don't play many counterspells either. So I could be criminally wrong. But I think that early counterspells are decent right now. Anyways, let's see. We'd have guaranteed surveil on Swallowed by Leviathan. We have the Undercity Sewers for surveil as well. And then we put more into the grave with Vile Entomber. So here's all the cards that plug things into our graveyard, right? Now, Harvester of Misery puts itself into the grave as well. And Restless Reef has the potential of milling ourselves to put more into the grave. I don't know if we had a lot of trouble putting things into the grave overall. I just kind of feel like another Bitter Triumph isn't going to hurt anything. You know what I mean? Now, personally, I'm not going to change anything. Mainly because it's like, well, I could see 3 Abyssal Harvesters, 3 Bitter Triumphs. Maybe I will make that change. Abyssal Harvester just has such a rough time surviving, and Bitter Triumph is so necessary for our survival. Oh man, do you guys like that change? I think I like it. I think it's okay. We're dropping a rare, going up an uncommon too. Duress is the other optional card here. Duress can peer into the opponent's hand, taking their Zombify away from them. That could be really good. But as a one of, we could probably just go up the second Live or Die and be pretty happy about it. But I don't know. I kind of like how this looks right now. The balance of things. The curve is incredibly clunky. Look at this. Look at this clunky curve. But remember, it kind of changes when you think of the Harvester of Misery as a 2-drop, right, with the bottom ability. That's going to happen quite often. Marang River Regent as a 4-drop. That's going to happen quite often as well. The Omen is actually incredible, isn't it? And then also the rest of the top end too. You're not actually waiting to get these casted out. We flooded sometimes today, but the floods weren't significant. 25 mana feels about right. You really, really do not want to miss your mana in this deck list. Let me go back here. I'm kind of stuck on this decision. Do I really want to drop that Harvester? Okay, guys. Okay, I'm going to change my mind because I personally don't want to change anything. I personally think more testing is required. And it really depends what you're up against too. So the game's bugging. I got to go up here to add the 4th again. Okay, so I'm going to stick to it. But that change that I just made, that should mean something, right? I think that more testing happens, and I'm probably going to land on 3 Bitter Triumphs, 3 Harvesters. However, if I was going that route further too, I could still see 2 Harvesters, another Live or Die, and maybe another early discard card. And there's probably some really good options to choose from too. I remember the whole point of this was to be rotation proof, so you can go to Alchemy first of all, and if you built it wrong, then something will be glowing red here. That means it's rotating because Alchemy rotated early. Other than that, you can click this little checkbox and then switch back to standard, and that's a little faster than going through and clicking off of all of the ones that are actually rotating, right? So at that point, we can actually take a look here. Like 3 steps ahead. It's pretty good, right? 3 steps ahead probably should have made the cut as an honorable mention for sure. And that's a good example of, you know, what I said. I don't play much blue, and so there's definitely going to be cards that I overlooked there for sure. Let me know in the comments what else I potentially overlooked. A Roiling Dragonstorm is not half bad, is it? I'd say this is actually pretty decent, especially with the top end of Marang River Regent, but it's only a 2 of on the top end too, and we don't have other dragons in here either. What about, yeah, Collector's Vault is sticking around, guys. This came out in Wilds of Eldraine. So I could see dropping a couple Abyssal Harvesters, going up a Collector's Vault, and going up the other Live or Die. Yeah, I could see that too. But again, I'm personally not going to make the change. Just keep your eye on that. Definitely something to consider. I think Collector's Vault would be terrific in here, actually. Really good. A really good addition, because even with all the mana, I think the extra treasure would come in handy very often. Okay, to recap, guys, again, I think more testing is required. I'm going to keep it as is, not going to make any changes, but I do think that the Harvester and leaning into the Harvester combo is detrimental to the deck list, even though that's a big part of the soul of the deck list too. We could drop it down to 2, go up a Collector's Vault, go up a Live or Die, and be pretty happy about that. Other than that, you don't like Collector's Vault, maybe you could drop Harvester down to 3, go up to 3rd Bitter Triumph, and be happy about that too. So a lot of options, guys. And honestly, so many ways to put together Reanimator. It's not even funny. There's a reason that people are just mainboarding Graveyard Hate, and a lot of it too, by the way. So there's a reason. And it's not just Yuna. Yuna's not the only reason, right? I guess we could blame the Galta reanimating deck list as well, but there's a lot of ways to put together Reanimator. Is this one of them? Yes, but probably not a competitive way, right? This is more of a janky way, and it actually could be pretty fun. If you actually get to keep Harvester on the board by some miracle, there's going to be a lot of fun shenanigans you can get up to with a Vile Entomber after the fact too. Or even if you just, yeah, next turn Bitter Triumph, discard something and tap the Harvester, that could be equally as cool. All right, guys, enough rambling, huh? If you made it this far into the video for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I see you in the next video.